Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer Matz. I'm the Director of the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development, and I'd like to welcome you here this morning to the grand opening of Pearls and for announcements regarding our Community Ambassador Program here on Central Market, as well as some increased public safety measures. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mayor Ed Lee and then a few other speakers to talk about the initiatives and to talk about Pearls. So, Mayor Lee.
Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me? All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming to the new Pearls Deluxe Burger here at Sixth and Market. Thank you. I want to thank, of course, Sylvia and Young, who are the owners of it. Jim is the manager here. Thank you very much for managing this place. And to also congratulate all 16 permanent employees who've just started here today. That's been a theme of ours. And I know Board President David Chiu is here because he's obviously very thankful and supportive. Jane Kim is here, our supervisor for this district. She's joined us. Of course, Jennifer with, thank you very much, supervisors. Tiffany Bohee, our acting director of our redevelopment agency. Thank you, redevelopment, for being a great partner on this. Our chief of police, who's been a wonderful partner, who's making sure, because he just signed a lease right next door down the block for the 6th Street substation. We're getting that built. That is committed. That's coming on board next year, and it's on its way. He signed a lease. The construction documents are getting in place, and we just have to get past the little freeze that the governor put on us on redevelopment, but that's not stopping the redevelopment staff from doing their work. Thank you very much. All of you from the redevelopment staff, thank you for being here today. I just rode down here with Supervisor Kim and a lot of members from the Bicycle Coalition, and we did that right on our green bike lanes. And we're hoping that everybody gets that chance to do it. And we're going to have a meeting probably in the next couple of weeks to try to find the patches where we can smooth over even more of the green bike lanes so that people can stop by right here, get their burgers and the shakes, and the real shakes, not the ones on the bike. Thank you, Leah, for a wonderful ride down here as well. And I also want to thank the bicycle owner whose bike I got to rent this morning, Huckleberry Bicycles. Thank you very much. Zach Stender. Where's Zach? Zach Stender was here. There he is. And we're opening up his bicycle repair and maintenance shop right up the street by the end of the month. And they're going to really have a great part. In fact, I want to thank Zach in front of everybody because they've been offering free bicycle tune-ups for all of the bicyclists that come down Market Street for many, many months. Thank you, Zach, for being here. We look forward to opening up your place. You need to ride a bicycle to get here because these burgers are so good that you're going to want to really work them off. And I know I'm going to do that as I pick up my burger and go back to my very, very long meetings this afternoon. But I want to thank, of course, Jen Matz, Office of Economic Development, Amy Cohen, her wonderful staff. They've been working together with our redevelopment agency, with the Market Street, the CBD. Thank you very much for being here. Carolyn Diamond from our Market Street Association as well. The CAC, I need to thank them. John Gall, where's John and Terry Bogart? Thank you. The owners of the building, thank you very much for being here. And thank you for your patience. Thank you to Urban Construction Design for doing all the construction work here as well. Thank you. You've all been very patient working with us, working with our mid-market, our cultural district loan fund, with the OEWD, with redevelopment and their funding to get the funding package together. There were many months of that when Gavin was mayor to put that all together. They had great faith. They had great faith, just like Ralph Lee does, because he's the owner of a nice hotel up there, the Hotel Whitcomb, and he's known that this feeling of the transformation of mid-market is really coming. And it's come with today's opening. And a lot of people's hope continue to make sure that my office, working with the Board of Supervisors, OEWD and redevelopment, continue the positive transformation. So we have 2 announcements today, and I want to get to them. But I want to make sure I thank everybody who's here today. Dina Hilliard from the Tenderloin CBD, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Nella Marvell and Era Pinning from the Central CAC, thank you for being here. Market and Tenderloin. Randy Shaw, Tenderloin Housing. Thank you, Randy, for being here. We look forward, Randy, with working with you on the grocery store and the museum and everything else for the Tenderloin. Thank you very much. With that, I wanted to just brush with you a little bit of the history here. As I said earlier, it began over a year and a half ago in 2010 to really look at this corner. And when Sylvia and Young decided, okay, if we got a little help with redevelopment, OEWD, with our Cultural District Loan Fund, all the positive things that are going on here, they made a long-term commitment to be here. And they put forth a plan to open up their fourth, at least their third that they manage here, right here at 6th and Market. And we are embracing this opportunity because it complements Show Dogs, it complements all the other businesses that have benefited from the loan fund. It also complements and supports the wonderful arts organizations that have started all around here that have been the great catalysts. I want to thank Great Arts Foundation, Burning Man, all the others that have really been taking a little bit of risk, but knowing that there's going to be a big payoff. And the payoff is the constant transition here. I want to thank Zendesk for being here. Is Mikkel Svane here? Mikkel, thank you very much for being here. And you heard what I said, the substation's going to be here. There's going to be a lot more eyes and ears, not only with this great establishment, the burgers that'll be here as well, but I want to thank just the acumen, the faith that people have about continuing to contribute to the positive changes on mid-market. Everybody wants this area to succeed. Everybody knows it has to succeed. For the benefit of the Tenderloin, benefit of Soma and mid-market, we have a lot of things that we want to do here, and I'm going to continue leading that effort as much as I can. Every week we want to announce something else, whether it's an arts program, whether it's the Latin dance on Union, on United Nations Plaza this afternoon. I want to thank everyone for constantly contributing to keeping the creative ideas flowing and the commitments that we want to make. It isn't just money. It isn't just public safety. It's all of us working together combined. It's having employees walk these streets and spending their precious dollars on supporting the small businesses. It's making commitments and keeping to those promises, however long they've been made, to make sure we deliver on them. All of the community who's lived here for many, many years deserve us fulfilling our promises. And that's what we all want to continue doing. We made a lot of promises in the past. I'm not going to make any new ones. I'm going to keep fulfilling the old ones that we've always wanted to make. We're going to keep bringing more people down here, keep this lively, keep it safe. So the announcement about Pearl's Deluxe Burger is just the first. I want to thank Sylvia. I want to thank Young for being here, all the employees. We're creating jobs, 16 permanent new jobs right here on this street. And this, they signed the papers quickly enough, they'll get the payroll tax exemption. Just like Svane did when he brought in Zendesk. They are 80 employees today. By early next year, there'll be 150 new employees. So that difference will take advantage of that payroll tax. Thank you, Svane. Thank you very much, Mikkel, for being here. The second announcement I want to make in this excitement is that we talked about how to make this area safer and cleaner. And so we didn't let go. We didn't want to just wait for the substation here. While the substation is being constructed and built, and the chief's already made that commitment, we've already made the commitment, too, that we'll keep the mobile van right here in front of the 6th Street site so that the officers know that the commitment is very strong, and you're going to see officers walking this beat very visibly. At the same time, we're not just content with police, because police know community policing is not just about them. It's about how the community responds. So there's a program that I was responsible to help create when there was some degrees of violence in the 3rd Street corridor last year, and we responded with a very positive program called the Community Ambassador Program. And we've taken that idea, working very closely with my very good friend and department head, Edwin M, who heads up the Civic Engagement Division under City Administrator's Office. She's brought here the current staffing of the Community Ambassadors program that works on our 3rd Street corridor. They're wonderful people. We personally hired them from the community in D10, and now they're gonna also add D6 residents to their workforce, and they're going to start the Market Street Community Ambassador Program with all of you here. And they're going to go for 10 employees working alongside DPW, working alongside the Community Shines program, the community guides that are already here who actually help clean the streets, and they're part of the CBD program here. They're going to work with everybody here, but they're going to be trained through the police academy to be additional eyes and ears for all of the visitors, all of the workforce that's located here, and everyone who wants to be here and to feel. It's not just being safe, it's also feeling safe. And having additional eyes and ears that are trained very, very well by our police academy. And thanks again to the police department for training them. They're going to be here from, I think it's like 10 in the morning to 8 at night, just making sure, 11 to 8, making sure that 3 zones from 5th Street all the way to 12th Street along Market is covered, that people feel safe. So if you're preoccupied with your headphones or other things that you're doing, they're going to watch out for you, and they're going to be here in the hours in which the employees want to be here and feel much safer. So those eyes and ears will be kind of what we feel as an escort, that they'll watch folks, they'll guide them. If somebody says, hey, I have a bunch of groceries that I feel a little unsafe, it's a little dark during these winter months, and they need maybe an escort to their cars or to hopefully the bicycle racks or to where they ultimately parked, we'll have the Community Ambassador Program with them. I want to thank the Community Ambassadors because they know that working alongside our officers, they're community folks. They want their own folks that they live with feeling safe as well. They will be multilingual, multicultural. They'll be extra sensitive to all of the issues. So those 2 announcements I wanted to make today, along with the opening of Pearl's Deluxe Burgers. And hopefully all of you will get a chance to have a burger if the lines aren't too long. Take your orders, and then when you get the burger, you can either eat here or you can join all of us at the Latin dance that starts at noon at the United Nations Plaza, along with the food trucks if you want more food, but you'll have to work that off. And so you can walk with the ambassadors all day long, too. They get a good workout as well. So those are the things that we're announcing today, but there's a lot of thanks. These are just milestones of things that have been in place. And again, I want to thank all of the residents who have been here. They continue to be patient. They see the changes coming along. They're with us on all those changes. And this transformation is real. It's one that I personally have committed to. I'm going to be down here until everybody who wants to be here locates here. From Burning Man to Great Arts Festival to the Community Ambassadors to Pearl's Deluxe Burgers. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much.
Well, as the mayor said, it certainly takes a village to do the impactful and important work that we're doing here on Central Market, but it also requires leadership, and we're lucky to have the leadership of Supervisor Jane Kim to help us.
Thank you, Jen. Almost exactly 6 months ago, the mayor, President Chiu, and I stood across the street to announce the mid-market tax exclusion. At the time, we just talked about a vision that we had of mid-market, which, as many of you know, has suffered the highest commercial vacancy rate of any corridor in the city of San Francisco for over 50 years. We talked about the hopes we had for Pearl's Deluxe Burger moving across the street, the hopes we had for Twitter. 6 months later, we have a company that has already moved in across the street, Zendesk. Twitter and Shorenstein have poured in $90 to $100 million currently to improve SF Mart building. And Pearl's Deluxe Burger, a woman of color-owned business, has opened on the corner of 6th and Market. There are 3 things that our office has really been concerned about around the revitalization of mid-market. One, of course, is public safety. And we're happy to say that the 6th Street substation lease is signed thanks to Chief Suhr and the mayor's office and, of course, redevelopment for making that happen. We have our community ambassadors program, and we're also working closely with the MTA planning and redevelopment to put more crosswalks on 6th Street, which is something that the residents here have talked a long time about. How do we make 6th Street a safer street to cross? Second, of course, is economic revitalization. We want to see businesses come to mid-market. That's what Market Street Corridor was created for. And we're finally starting to see some of that happening. Some of it is the policy that we passed 6 months ago, but I think a lot of it is that there's a real commitment that the city has seen towards this corridor, and we have so many amazing community partners that have really dedicated years before we came to this point to develop plans to bring people here. I really want to thank Redevelopment, the SOMA PAC chair, who's also here. It's amazing to see SRO residents, business owners, SRO private landlords talking about what we can do to revitalize this area. And of course, I want to thank the Mayor's Office of Economic Workforce Development, because as urgent as this process is, they also understand that we need to listen to the community and the neighborhoods that have already existed here to make sure that their input is included in this revitalization effort. The last is that this corridor does belong to the city of San Francisco, but we have two historical neighborhoods here that surround it, both the Tenderloin and the South of Market. And it's a community that has struggled, but also has made a ton of achievements in this neighborhoods without the support of the city. And we want to continue to make sure that the changes that we're making are for the city, but also for the residents that have been here for a long time, the families, the seniors, the youth. And I know many of the members of the Central Market Partnership that are clapping in the back are here as well. So thank you for helping to guide us along that process. Want to acknowledge a few other folks that have come in since the mayor has acknowledged people. I saw Asian Neighborhood Design. I saw Central City SRO Collaborative. I saw David Addington outside. Urban Solution, Carol Kurloff. So there are a lot of folks here. I mean, this is really an example of how many, many people have been a part of this process to make Market Street work, and we're really excited to continue to work with everyone here to make this the street that everyone wants to see it. Thank you.
So as Supervisor Kim said, Central Market really does belong to the entire city. It's our central thoroughfare, and we have been blessed to have the commitment and energies of Board President David Chiu helping us with our efforts as well.
Good morning. Anybody hungry? Okay, I know as an elected official not to get between people and food, so I'm going to be very, very brief. 6 years ago, I ran a technology company that was located just a half a block from here. And my employees asked me to move from this neighborhood, and the reason for that was, one, they didn't feel safe. Secondly, we didn't have a community of innovators and creative folks around us. And thirdly, we were getting tired of eating donuts and Toulon's Vietnamese food. And so it is wonderful to be here as part of this mid-market community, moving our community forward. I'm particularly delighted to see all these yellow jackets behind me. Several years ago, when there were issues of crime in the Bayview, then City Administrator Ed Lee and our wonderful Adrian Pond, who heads up our Community Affairs Office and Immigrant Affairs Office, we came together to think about this program. And it's been great to see that work that they have done in the southeast neighborhoods, but I'm particularly happy to see them here in South of Market. So let's give a hand to our yellow jackets who will be patrolling every night of the week. Like other speakers today, I cannot believe that it was just barely a year ago, Jennifer Matz, when you and I think late fall started conversations about what we could do to revitalize this area. The conversations around Twitter were just starting. And it took all of us coming together to really explain to the rest of the city what we needed to do here. I actually have on my telephone a robocall that was put out to tens of thousands of San Franciscans trying to explain to people why we shouldn't invest in the mid-market area. And Randy Shaw remembers that. And I want to thank all of you for really coming together as a city, as a village, to say that we are going to be an example of 21st century development here in San Francisco, of mic systems that will work steadily, of making sure that we are bringing not just 21st century companies that reflect the very best of innovation here in San Francisco, not just the very best of creativity represented by our arts organizations and our theater organizations and Burning Man, but we are the diversity that is San Francisco, and I just want to thank you for being part of that. Thank you for working together. Thank you for moving this city forward. Thank you for being here, and let's get some burgers going.
So we have a few more speakers that I think it's important to hear from. And when we think about doing public safety in this challenging neighborhood that has resisted a lot of changes around public safety issues over the years, we are incredibly lucky to have the leadership and the knowledge and the long-term understanding of Police Chief Greg Suhr, and I'd like to ask him to say a few words.
I certainly don't want to take a lot of everybody's time because I got a burger on order. When I came into the police department 30 years ago, right across the street was the Tenderloin section of the Central Station, and that was my beat. And I can tell you that this area has changed so much over the last 30 years due to all the things that all the prior speakers spoke to. And I wish to God that there'd have been a burger place like this there then, because I'd probably weigh about 30 more pounds. That said, we are committed. We have signed the lease. There will be more officers. The neighborhood is changing daily. We are absolutely committed to making the mid-market corridor a safer place. And I can tell you firsthand, having been the immediate prior captain of Bayview Station, how critical the ambassador program was to our success in making the 3rd Street corridor a safer place. So without further ado, I'll give it back to the MC, and cheers to Sylvia and Pearls.
All right.
So redevelopment's efforts on 6th Street have been intense for years, and really without redevelopment's efforts, specifically Mike Grisso as the project manager for 6th Street, Pearls would not be here today, I think it is safe to say. And would like to recognize redevelopment and have Tiffany Bohee, the director, come say a few words.
Thank you, Jennifer. I think the opening of Pearls here at the corner of 6th and Market Street, it marks a major milestone, as the mayor and our electeds and of community partners have indicated. What was once a vacant and blighted corner is now this incredible, beautiful store where we can all enjoy burgers and then some. And that history, as Jennifer indicated, dates back many years. Since 2003, the redevelopment and the city have invested in this area. More than 30 businesses and tenants, ranging from great community partners like Bindlestiff Studio, who had their incredible opening just not that long ago, as well as Miss Saigon. They're all here due to our 6th Street Economic Revitalization Loan Program. Without the partnership of folks like Urban Solutions, and Jenny McNulty is here, we wouldn't have been able to achieve this success, even though we have the strong backing of our mayor and our electeds and our chief. We are excited that this is just one of many great changes that are happening here, and we look forward to many more on 6th Street. So thank you all for coming.
I'd like to invite Adrienne Pond to say a few words about the Community Ambassador Program and the very quick commitment that she made to expanding the program here to Central Market.
Thank you, everyone. Well, I want to say that, you know, when the mayor comes to you and says, please start a safety program, and by the way, we don't have any money, there are no resources to hire new staff, and you're just going to have to make it work. It's amazing because we got so much support from the mayor's office, from President Chiu and the Board of Supervisors, the SFPD and Chief Suhr, and you see the result of our efforts. Our Community Ambassadors Program is a street smart safety program. Not only do we keep the peace out in the streets, but we also educate the public. Everyone deserves safe and clean streets, and that's including our employers, our businesses, our workers, our visitors, and every resident of San Francisco. So thank you so much. We look forward to working with our businesses and community in the area.
I'd also like to invite Jenny McNulty to say a couple words from Urban Solutions. Where we like to think that government can sort of do everything needed for businesses, we in fact need private sector partners to help with business technical assistance and often sort of give us a little kick in the pants. So without further ado, Jenny.
Thank you. This is a great day for Central Market. And I'd like to thank and acknowledge the staff of Urban Solutions, and in particular, Tracy Everwine and Alain Sautu, for all the work that they did to bring Pearls Deluxe Burgers here to the gateway of 6th Street. They did everything from reaching out to the owners to tell them about the opportunity, to handling the lease negotiation, to helping secure financing and managing construction of the restaurant. Sylvia and Young are amazing people and amazing business operators, and we are thrilled that they're here, and they have created 16 jobs with health insurance right here in the neighborhood.
And by far the most important speaker today is Sylvia, and I would like to invite Sylvia to say a few words, and then say afterwards we're going to do a ribbon cutting, so everyone, I'd like to invite you to come outside, and then we'll come back in for burgers after Sylvia's done speaking. Okay.
Hi, everyone. You know, I want to start by saying that we are particularly excited to be on this corner because I am a San Francisco native, and I grew up in the Tenderloin, and my aunt and uncle used to have a fish and chips place right here on 6th Street. So my sister and I used to roam this neighborhood all the time. So for me being here, it's kind of like a coming home, and we're just so excited. And, you know, this project for us could not have been possible without the financial help from the mayor's office and the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency. We are forever thankful for all of your help, and for Urban Solutions, who held our hand through every step of the way and still continues to be a huge help to us here. And finally, the community here. I can't tell you how welcoming that the 6th Street and Central Market have been, everyone from the merchants and the neighbors. And you know, we tried to have a soft open last week. I've had lines out the door, so much for my soft open. And you know, I just want to encourage other merchants out there to come on down. Change isn't going to happen here. It is here. It's happening now. And if you take the risk, I tell you, you're going to have lines out the door. Thank you, everyone, for coming today.
All right, everyone, outside.